welcome back everybody to another episode of ClassHorrorCast. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Tom. How are you doing today, sir? Oh, Tom is made of wax. That's why he's not answering me. So for all the audio listeners there, that like 10 seconds there, you didn't realize I was talking to a wax figure.
Yeah, this movie is freaky, man. Some of those wax figures that they make. Yes, I'm excited for this. Welcome back to ClassHorrorCast. I just thought I was like, I'm gonna razzle him a bit, and I'm just gonna pretend to be wax.
First,
Because
I was like, is he having like a stroke or like is there something going on?
I'm excited for this. This is a good movie, and wax wax dolls kind of do freak me out. Like they're weird. Like when I was watching this, the wife came down and we were just talking about like even the ones in Niagara Falls in Canada, especially the old one, the Madame something or other. It's weird.
Two Sods or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's something like
Yeah.
that. Madame something. And it's like there's the Hollywood one, which is there's some that are terrible looking and they're still kind of creepy, but that older one is even just feels stranger, creepier. And it's just like, and then when you walk into the room, and maybe like it's probably way busier now, considering all the people in Canada now. But it used to be like you go into a room and there maybe one or two other people or whatever. When we went for a weekend, and then it is creepy even if you go by yourself. There's not many people maybe going through at that time, and you will see like it just when you walk into the room, it feels like there's a presence there because there's all these things that look human, but none of them are alive. So it's this
it's that weird, like,
eerie.
yeah, like uncanny valley like thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
You like
before we
wax
get
museums?
into this, not necessarily. So I've listened to a lot of podcasts over the last week about this movie and about some of the other stuff to do with like wax figures and museums and stuff. And one thing that people kind of, and probably from our age maybe up, always seem to say, and it's something I never really thought of, but it's a fair point, is like, what is actually the point of going to a wax museum? Because it's like I'm taking pictures with like a lookalike version of a famous person to do what? Like to put it online and be like, hey, I met the wax figure of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Especially before, like, because they've existed for a long time. You should look up like when the first wax museum was created.
That's what I was going to say before we get into like the movie itself and stuff. So I was just looking here to see the tradition of creating wax figures has deep historical roots dating back to ancient civilizations, but truly flourished in Europe between the 17th and 19th centuries, eventually evolving into wax museums as we know them today. Um, the Egyptians used wax in rituals, funerals, and idols. Romans created wax death masks of
Was Steve
ancestors
Martin
to
there?
preserve likenesses and often displayed during funerals and ceremonies. Let's see what else. Wax anatomy models in Italy were used for medical education.
That kind of makes sense.
Madame Tussauds and the rise of the Wax Museum. Marie Tussaud, 1761 to 1850, is the most famous name in wax
Wow,
history.
1761. That's pretty crazy.
Created death masks of notable figures during the French Revolution, including Marie Antoinette and others. Fled to England during the wars and began exhibiting her work. In 1835, she opened the first permanent wax museum in London. Following Tussauds' success, wax museums became popular across Europe and America. Today, they now blend celebrity culture, history, horror, fantasy with museums in nearly every major city, which is actually true. Like in any big
Yeah.
city, there's normally a wax museum.
It is kind of strange when you think about why do it before, like it's like back in the day, I guess, if you want to. I don't even understand it back then, really. Like, why is there
Yeah.
like a woman's like, look at me, I'm standing beside a wax
Brad
thing of
Pitt.
Caesar,
You're like,
Well,
I remember in like the very, very, very early 2000s, like probably around the time of the release of the first Raimi Spider-Man. So what, like
yeah.
2002? I remember being in New York one summer and they had opened like all these new exhibits in the one in Times Square or whatever it is, in the Madame Tussauds or whatever. And like I went and there was like a Spider-Man one. It wasn't necessarily a wax figure. It was more like the screen accurate costume on like a mannequin or whatever. But I remember they had premiered one for, I think it was at the Scorpion King.
Yes, that
I have a
lovely
picture
gem.
somewhere. I need to pull out all these old pictures, but I have a picture of me with The Rock as the Scorpion King. And like I remember at the time though coming back here and like being in school and being like, oh, I got a picture with like the statue of The Rock as the Scorpion King. And like I remember other kids being like, oh my God, wow, that's in America. That's so cool. And I'm like,
I'm gonna
it
see
was
if I
literally
can
nothing.
find some pictures. I'm just gonna try to scroll to the end of my Instagram. But we used to go to wax museums all the time, especially like because we'd go to Niagara a fair bit when I was younger, and I would just like being drunk and going because especially the one it's like the House of Stars or whatever. And it's like right on Clifton Hill. And you just kind of get drunk and you just like walk through that shit and you're like, oh, look at this really bad Austin Powers. And it was just like some of the environment was like, I like kind of cool because you'd walk into a room, right? And there might be one that is like Jurassic Park themed, and it sounds like you're at Jurassic Park or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they have some of the setup, which is kind of some of that's kind of cool, like how you can like there's a the one of what's that like Breakfast at Tiffany's or whatever, and you can go like
Yeah,
sit
like
at the
kind of in
bar
the
or the
environment or
breakfast.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, and now that you made me think about it, I think it is kind of weird.
I didn't think about it, like I said, until this week. And everyone, it seemed to be like a reoccurring theme that I heard people bring up. They were like, I don't know why I visited wax museums, or I don't know why anyone pays like $30, $40 to go into a wax museum. And I was like, huh, that's actually a really fair point. I have no idea what the appeal is.
I don't really get it either. Like I don't. Now that like, but I used to like doing it, like right. So I'm
Same,
like, but now
same.
they made me question it. I'm like, what is the point though? What is
Why am I
the
doing it?
yeah?
Yeah, I know it's weird. Okay,
Soon it'll
so
be a robot though, right? Like soon they're gonna do like some robot
yeah, like
shit.
some weird, scary AI hologram or something that'll look like
Yeah,
a real
keep going. See
person.
if I can find any of because I used to be like, look at me, I'm with Charles Manson. Here's a fun one for everybody.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Like cut off eyebrows. And shit.
Nice.
Wow,
Like
what a
fucking
different time.
Vanilla Ice or something.
So crazy.
So if you haven't figured out already, today we are talking about the 2005 horror movie House of Wax by Dark Castle Entertainment. This, I suppose, continues our series of sorts. However, before we get into that, we need to go all the way back to the origins of the story
Way
that
back.
this is loosely based on. So before we talk about House of Wax 2005, we need to rewind not only to the 1950s Vincent Price classic, but even further back to 1933. The original film Mystery of the Wax Museum was written by Charles S. Belden, and it laid the foundations for everything that followed. Belden wasn't adapting a novel or a play, it was a brand new story, but he drew from something that already fascinated and creeped out the public at the time, which was wax museums. In the early 1900s, wax museums were huge attractions. Madame Tussauds in London, for example, had its infamous Chamber of Horrors, lifelike recreations of murders, criminals, and executions. Crowds flocked to see wax figures of Jack the Ripper's victims, French guillotine scenes, or notorious killers like Burke and Hare.
Oh,
Which we're
weird.
gonna.
Yeah, we covered Burkhead. But like to be like, yo, look at this slain prostitute. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun, Gary?
It is weird, like, isn't it?
Here I
Um,
found some of the so this is one of like the room. It's weird. It's going like 3D of Homer going crazy. Everyone will like this one. It's Hitler.
nice.
If it, let's see if it there.
You can kind of see it, yeah.
There. Okay. This was in
I've
some
done
weird
it. Like,
3D.
I have tons of
Oh, it's
pictures,
not
I
even
would
like-
imagine, as well.
Look at
from
there's me
different-
with Charles Manson.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is-
know what. Like,
These are so old too.
but there is an appeal as well, though, because I've done it like multiple times as well. So I'm like, there's obviously some sort of draw.
2015, and then I'm in like the stock and
The
bear.
stocks, yeah,
Yeah, the
nice.
stocks. And then here's some other ones. Just I think these are the last ones I found. It's not, stupid green screen.
Some of the horror ones I kind of like.
Like there's like
Yeah.
yeah, I know they're cool
Shining
looking.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not because the green screen's messing it up, but yeah, like the mommy
Um,
and stuff. I always like that stuff. So I was like, cool, check this out. R2D2.
But supposedly people have been morbidly curious about this stuff, and the line between entertainment and exploitation was already blurry. Belden tapped into this cultural obsession, the idea that wax museums were both amazing and deeply unsettling, The uncanny valley effect, where something looks almost human but not quite right.
So what? Does he have like the prostitute's legs wide open and they're like guts coming out? But like this is what Jack the Ripper did.
Well, he doesn't, but he saw how fascinated people were by all this stuff. And this is where he got the idea of the concept of a mad sculptor using real corpses to create wax masterpieces. Um, so there have been disturbing parallels in history, stories of killers who turn their victims into art, for example. And
We need to cover
Anna's
that on my
well-versed
side.
in all this. You've got Ed Gein, the
Yes.
Wisconsin murderer in 1950s, made lampshades and masks from human skin. And
Wait,
his
can we
crimes later inspired Psycho
did you-
and Texas Chainsaw.
Did you see the commercial that came out? They're doing a monster
With Charlie Hunnam as
as Ed
Ed Gein.
Gein, dude.
Yeah.
We need to we covered it way back in the day on Strange Brew, but I
That's
think
out
we
in
need
like a
to
month.
redo it. I think we need to redo. We did 4 hours on Dahmer. Let's do a good 2 hours on Gein. And we'll bring
That's out
Billy
in like a
along.
month, I think, that show.
Yeah. I think it might be good to capture on that, and
On
because
that
it was so
time.
long ago, and we didn't really have a video aspect of it. Did you ever go to the Criminal Wax Museum in Niagara? It's not there anymore.
It sounds familiar.
So I went as a kid thinking like, cool, I'm going to see like Michael Myers and stuff. Like, I don't know. Right. And I was young and like, but they did actually weirdly at the end have a display of like slasher killers. There was like Michael Myers, Jason, all of them like in a room. But as we're going through it, I was so young. I was like, I don't know, maybe 9, maybe 10. Just before I got my fascination in true crime, probably. And we went through it, and there's like Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy and Richard Ramirez. And I don't know if they took it down because like either it wasn't making money or maybe people were like, this is insensitive now. God knows what, right? But it was trippy, and they had like a room, and it's like Jeffrey Dahmer with his open fridge, and there's like hearts and like organs and stuff coming out of it. Or they'd have Ed Gein like chopping. Like I think one was like him going. And as you walk past, and these are the ones that were behind the glass. It was just him, chopping.
Yeah, what that
away.
reminds me of, and it's something that I would have loved the chance to been able to do, is remember the murder ride from House of a Thousand
Yeah.
Corpses?
Yeah.
Where he's like going through and like they're all bursting out like animatronics, and he's like chopping the thing.
Dr. Satan.
Yeah. So earlier in the 19th century, Paris had its. Now I'm going to absolutely brutalize this. Musée Greven, another wax museum that staged graphic murder scenes blurring fact and fiction. So when audiences in 1933 watched Mystery of the Wax Museum, it wasn't just gothic fantasy, it was touching on something that was a very real fear. What if those eerily lifelike wax figures weren't just wax? By 1953, when Warner Brothers remade the story as House of Wax, they leaned even harder into spectacle. It was one of the first big 3D films, complete with a paddleball man breaking the fourth wall, and it turned Vincent Price into a horror legend. His role as the disfigured sculptor gave the story a tragic gothic flair.
Is it worth a watch? I don't remember ever watching it. I maybe probably have. But
It's okay. Like it's.
does it hold up at all?
So I find a lot of them don't, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Maybe I'll have to watch it.
And then obviously we come to more modern times, and in 2005, Dark Castle revived the name House of Wax, but instead of a tragic sculptor, they gave us something different: a wax museum in a creepy abandoned town tied to a pair of murderous brothers. It wasn't a direct remake of either earlier film, but the DNA was still loosely there. The horror of the uncanny, the beauty hiding death, and a place where art and murder are inseparable. From Madame Tussauds Chamber of Horrors to Ed Gein's grotesque crafts, and all the silver screen in 1933 to Paris Hilton's infamous kill scene in 2005, House of Wax has always been about one thing: the terrifying thin line between the lifelike and the lifeless. Released on May 6, 2005, House of Wax was the third feature film from Dark Castle Entertainment, following House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, which is not true. It was directed by, I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, Jaume.
Jimmer?
It's like I've heard people say Jaume. I don't know if I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know if I don't even know where that name comes from.
Let's call him Jamie.
Making his feature debut, movie was produced by Joel Silver and Robert Zemeckis through Warner Brothers. The film stars Elisha Cuthbert as Carly, Child Michael Murray as her brother Nick, Brian Van Holt as the sinister Beau and Vincent, which I didn't realize, Jared Padalecki, John Abrahams, Robert Richards, but of course the most talked about casting choice
Chad
was
Michael Murray.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Promoted
what?
heavily in marketing
Yes.
campaigns with the now infamous tagline, "See Paris."
I was
Die."
going to say that. The studio leaned heavily on Paris Hilton's casting, even making the infamous death scene, "See Paris Die," a major part of the marketing campaign. Audience actually cheered during her scene in theaters. It became a bizarre pop culture moment. Yay, fuck that stupid bitch.
I think she gets way too much hate, I'll be honest.
I don't think she's that bad. We used to watch the show or whatever when I was
Eight
younger.
Simple Rules. No.
Yeah, no, that's the other one.
Simple
Life.
Simple Life, wasn't it?
When they go to live with Hicks and shit like that.
Yeah,
and,
so you know something I didn't realize that that was just a character.
Oh, of course, it was scripted. I heard.
Yeah, but that was a complete so apparently she's extremely intelligent. She's a really good businesswoman.
That's
And
what I've heard.
that whole thing was just like she just put that on purpose. So like her entire career basically has all been like pre-planned, like it's all thought out. Like so she done all that stuff purposely. So I suppose you could say she was like an influencer or like one of those viral kind of celebrities before that existed.
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the blowjob sex tape,
Was that all on purpose as well?
just like Kardashian.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's another
Yeah.
one who's the same thing. And there's another, like Kim Kardashian is nowhere near as dumb as people like to kind of
Yeah.
make her out to be. The same as their, what's the mother's name? Chris, is it? Chris
Yeah, Kris
Kardashian?
Jenner.
Like she is like supposedly, I've seen so many different like business people talk about her and be like, oh, she's like a business mogul. Like that woman is
Cutthroat.
such a good like businesswoman and so shrewd, like knows exactly what she's doing, what to say, when to say things, when to leak things or things to like, it's all on purpose.
Yes, everybody, the world is a stage, you know. You know what's crazy about the town? It wasn't CGI. The filmmakers built an entire fake small town set in Australia. The House of Wax was designed to literally melt during the climax. They use a ton of real wax and flammable materials, which is crazy that they built that entire town out of as a set is really cool.
I actually had the head production designer for that on the show a few weeks back. His name is Graham Walker, but everyone calls him Grace Walker. He was the head production designer for this Gothica ghost ship, the island of Dr. Moreau, and the entire series of The Walking Dead.
That's cool.
He's a kind of an older Australian guy. Super cool guy though, but he was saying like that this was just wild. Like the amount of money and the amount of like, they were like, yeah, just go out and just build an entire town. Just
Which is
go
really
out
cool.
here and just like build an entire town from scratch. He was like, I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I know. When did this
Which
come
is
out?
2005. So what?
I was
When
14,
would
so
they
I
have been?
definitely watched it when it came out in video. And I watched it with my friend Austin, probably.
Of course you did.
I'm
Of
guessing.
course you did, Tom. Also on the topic of the town, I don't know if you know this, but or anybody else does. So the town of Ambrose was built from scratch, like you said, but it was
Yeah.
also based on a real town called Asmara, I think it's pronounced, in
Weird.
East Africa. I don't know. Do you know anything about this?
I didn't think they could build towns there.
Apparently so. Well, I don't know how well they built it, but
Just kidding,
so
everybody.
this is
calm
it
down.
here. It was used.
Weird.
So, the city is famous for being a frozen in time city with a 1930s Italian Art Deco architecture. The name Ambrose is also linked to Saint Ambrose, who is associated with bees and wax in Christian iconography. Another
Okay.
nod to the wax motif. But if you look at some of the images on screen, it does kind of it has that weird, like, these are actual buildings. In
Oh
this
yeah,
town.
interesting. Yeah, the modernist architecture between 1935 and 1941 by Italians during the Italian colonial rule. So they came in and built an entire civilization and in towns and cities.
That's kind of weird. Like it kind of nearly looks like some of the buildings, like the House of Wax and stuff.
Oh yeah, like that one does. Interesting.
Yeah.
The Italian kind of look. That looks like a European city.
Yeah, it's strange. It's kind of weird to have it in that part of the world just randomly like that. But
Interesting. That's like I was like a controversial opinion, but I don't think colonialism was all that bad. It brought a lot of civilization to places that weren't really civil. I know people might not like that, but that's a fact. Look at that, like that was built in the middle of like Africa on the East Coast, right? And look at how beautiful that town is, right? And how people live there in houses, you know?
I think it got left like a ghost town. Why, I'm not exactly sure.
Why didn't they just film there then? Because that would be cool. Like, imagine you had a whole like little like city to like film it. I guess they needed to like the feel of like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like the backwoods or whatever. It had a budget of 40 million, and I didn't notice. I thought this was like a pretty big success.
Yeah,
But I came to find out that it actually really wasn't. It grossed about 70 million worldwide, so it wasn't really that successful. Like it made its money back, but supposedly it found like a really good second life on home video. In the US alone, when it came out on DVD, it made 42 million just in DVD sales, which is like
the
budget again, which is not bad considering. So I don't know, like, look, it was successful. They didn't lose money. They probably made a few million, but like, I don't think anybody was overjoyed and being like, wow, it was such a big success.
I enjoyed it. I would have, if I was older, I would have saw it in theaters.
Oh yeah, same. Filmed in Queensland, Australia. Like you said, the thing was all practical. Basically, they only use CG, I think, to touch up things and like add.
And the ending, like
spots.
every single Dark Castle movie, they use too much at the end.
Yeah, I know the director was like savagely against using CGI at all. He didn't want to use any CG.
Probably would have been a good idea. You know, did you ever duct tape your son to a high chair?
No, not yet. Anyway, maybe I will now that he's 11.
That scene at the beginning or whatever, where it's like, you know, it's showing like the family and obviously the two brothers, and then we can even talk about it like an hour later, but like there's that twist at the end where maybe we always think that the crazy brother is Vincent, but it might be the other one, right? And like,
yeah, we can talk about it. Like, I mean, if you haven't figured out at this point, if you're listening to the show, spoilers come just out of nowhere, so you just expect spoilers at all points, and we're going to jump between the story all over the place. So.
Like that, because then you get to this idea of like, you know, one was worse than the other. Why can't you be more like your brother? And showing kind of the background before they get into it, and it's like, and the kid's like duct taped to the. It's like, well,
for some reason, right? When I remember seeing this because I think I saw this on like DVD, maybe a year or two after.
Yeah, probably
it came out. So like I would have been young enough still, and I don't know, when I was rewatching it, I was like, kind of had memories of like. Oh, I remember that kind of freaking me out a bit. I mean, like, that's a bit fucking weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, me too. In the beginning, like, it's kind of a, you know, I even wrote down, like, it's like typical early 2000s vibe, especially for a slasher film. Typical characters, literally like stereotype characters. You got like the.
Oh, so right.
Yeah.
So, right. I love this movie. This is another one of those ones where if people are watching a video of this, I have Vincent tattooed on the inside of my arm.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually if you can make.
Do you ever kiss that mask at night when you're feeling lonely?
It's the artwork from.
Oh, weird! I've never seen that version.
From the re-release.
I've never seen that artwork from the re-release. That's cool.
That's the Scream Factory collector's edition.
That's actually pretty cool. And Aaron has the mask next to him, which he kisses at night. He says, "Good night."
That's not even a mask. That's actually like a real head.
Really?
That's a solid head. There's eyes in that.
That's fucked weird.
Yeah, he has eyes and like he has a neck and everything.
Is his mouth open?
No, it's a full bust. I tried to stick it in his eyes, but there's eyeballs in there. Yeah, that was something. So I don't have many complaints about this movie. Look,
me either.
I'm not saying it's an Oscar-winning movie. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. I'm saying I enjoy it. I think it done exactly what it set out to do. I like pretty much everything about it. The one gripe I have that I just cannot get over at times is the fucking characters. Some of these characters, and I get it, but I'm like fucking hell. Like I wrote down, I don't think Paris is as bad as they make her out to be. Honestly, I think her boyfriend Blake is even worse. Like there's a scene at the very start where he's sitting in the truck, and I think it's Raekwon or something is on the radio, and he's like checking out the GPS, and of course in 2005, like GPS in the car is like a fucking you know, being in like the
you're a rich
Starship
man.
Enterprise or whatever. And like he's pressing it all and it's going like beep boop 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 and it's doing all stuff and he's like, it's all technology.
Yeah.
And like she walks out to talk to him and he's being all like, yeah, I'm a guy, and he's like rapping along to the fucking stereo. And she's trying to talk to him and he just keeps rapping. He's like, what's up, Paige? And like trying to be all cool. And she says something about like, and she's like, oh, forget it or whatever. I'm going back inside or something. And he's like, no, come back. You know, it's not like that. And like, just, it's just like the way he acts, the way he talks. And like, he's just not even delivering the line. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's like self-aware and it's on purpose. I'm like, oh no, he's actually trying to act here, but it's coming across like it's just awful.
Yeah, I agree. And even like the badass brother and like, you know, and
he fucking annoys me. That was my next sentence. Chad Michael Murray's character doing the tough man act is so irritating. It's really pissing me off. And
all the girls loved him back in the day.
Yeah, I know, right? And even like the thing you said about like when he takes his shirt off at one point and he gives his vest to his sister, but he stands with like this weird like hunched like his shoulders forward and he's like hunched over like trying to do his little 6-pack thing. And I'm like, what is the fucking point in this? Like
for the ladies. Oh,
but it's just, dude, it's like so cringe. Also, as well, and I don't know if you feel this. Why do I feel like for the entire thing that him and the sister want to fuck?
It is kind of weird. There is that weird tension, it seems like.
It's like really fucking overtly bizarre. Like they should have made him Wade.
Yeah.
Which is Jared Padalecki's character. So they should have made him the boyfriend, I think, and made Wade the fucking brother because they had no chemistry. Her and her actual boyfriend had no chemistry in the movie. And he's all jealous. He's like, oh, why's your brother? Why are you and your brother fucking like...
It is weird. I
this whole thing is
think
weird.
about that now. It does seem weird.
And it comes up a lot. Like even when he goes to rescue her and all, like it's like he's like holding her by the face and he's like, I got you now. We're good and we're okay. And
it's fucking weird. There's a couple, like I would say there's a couple gripes I could say I have with this. You know, like they're trying to utilize the CGI, but I think it was a little too much. A little much too CGI with the like house melting at the end. And we'll break down some of the other like creepy aspects of the movie. But like I even said like when they take off Vincent's mask, I was like, I have no idea why they used CGI on his face. It looks terrible. They should have never done that. They should have done something more practical. It looks awful, but so dumb. I enjoy all the movie, but this is definitely something that just looks stupid.
So I get the concept was, you know, his face was obviously, he was like a conjoined twin or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that side of his face is fucked and blah, blah, blah. But like, I didn't feel like it was overly like that grotesque that I would have to wear a wax mask for my entire life. Grotesque.
It looked like terrible. See, it looked terrible. The CGI, like, if you can bring it up at all.
He was actually scarier when he looked like that.
Yes.
With the wax face. I was like, you're actually kind of scarier that way, I'll be honest. Maybe that's just me. No, I'm not necessarily knocking it, but I did.
You should bring it up. I tried and it froze my internet.
I did find it a little bit weird that they'd done that because it kind of felt a little bit anticlimactic in a way. I'm like, you go through the whole movie and you're kind of wondering. You're like, oh, what does his face look like? Or like it must be something really bad under.
If you can bring it up, it looks pretty bad.
I'm trying to find it here while we're talking. That's why I'm like trying to ramble.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was just so disappointed. It's like at the end of House on Haunted Hill and even a little bit on the end of 13 Ghosts. It's like too excessive. Like it's the same thing with House on Haunted Hill of the ending of that weird ghost that like takes the whole house and it's just too much CGI, man.
Yeah. I don't know what the choice in that is though, or why. Like I don't. Is it trying to embrace the technology at the time or something? So. Like, is that the intention? Like, is it to be like, you know, we can be really edgy and cool or something, and like do that instead? But yeah, it just like it personally doesn't do it for me.
You know what I wrote about Vincent? Like, yeah, it looks bad. I said the killer kind of looks like a wax version of Danzig from the Misfits.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like it looked terrible. Look, it looks like you know one of those filters you have on Snapchat? That's what it looks like.
Like,
Like,
I find
weird.
like looking at shit like that is like scarier.
I agree. Now look at that and type in Glenn Danzig, just so people can see.
1 sec.
Yeah,
Starting
I
to
was
it's
disappointed
starting
in
to
that.
freeze here.
I forgot that they like when they reveal his face or whatever. I forgot about it, and then when I was like, and he's like on the bed trying to attack like I think that cut bridge
Yeah,
whatever her name. She was like the
Elijah
girl next door.
Cuthbert or whatever.
Yeah, did you ever see Popular Mechanics for Kids?
No.
Oh, weird. She was in that, and so was Jay Baruchel. And it was like when they were like preteens, and they would do like Popular Mechanics for Kids. And that's where I knew it was a Canadian show because she's Canadian, I'm pretty sure, and so is Jay Baruchel. And yeah, they did the little, and then she was like the girl next door. When she got older, everyone's like, "Wow, that's that chick from Popular Mechanics for Kids." Did you find Glenn Danzig?
Here's a question. No, it's I don't know what's going on. It keeps like freezing and moving through the stuff.
Disappointing.
I'm trying to stop it. It's just like flying through the images. Oh wait, it stopped. Here's a question for you. Paris Hilton, hot or not?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, same.
Typical of the time, right? Not much to the curves, but like that was in at the time, skinny blonde, right? And
yeah,
like even when I was
had a
younger,
thing for her, and like
yeah,
kind of still do.
yeah, I would say a little bit. Like even like with one of the first girls I dated, she was blonde or whatever. She like loved Paris Hilton and wanted to like emulate her. Yeah, yo, he done. Okay, go to the images.
Derry looks like him.
Yeah, I know.
Derry looks exactly like him right there.
See, I was like when I was watching this, I was like, he does look like Glenn, especially even when he's younger.
What is that?
Fat Ed Neck, Fat Ed Net, whatever that guy's name. I can't even. And you know what's funny about Danzig? If you look at some of the images of him, especially when he's younger, like keep scrolling down, they wanted when they were going to do the X-Men, they were looking at him to play Wolverine.
Yeah,
because look at that. He's short and he's like kind of like a stocky guy and like used to be muscular. Put some chops on him, he looks like Wolverine.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I don't know. I don't think he was a great actor. I'm assuming that's why they didn't want him to do it.
Probably.
But I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I quite like Paris Hilton, I'll be honest with you. I never really had a thing against her, but like I never understood the thing like where people like have it out for her. I personally
she just
don't
became
get
that
it.
like typical, like they kind of labeled her as like a slut a little bit just because like
and
the
it's
video
like that brain dead like bimbo thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
The video that got really, and then you think of like, even I wrote that like, oh, sure, your lip balm fell, and now she's oh, my lip balm fell. I'm gonna suck his dick.
Like, I tell you one thing, she does not look bad now.
No.
She's always kind of looked the same, to be honest.
Do you think she drinks adrenochrome?
I don't care what she does. I'll be honest.
Yeah. But
She
is
kind
it
of
one?
looks like a doll, like, but I don't know.
Can you put in without makeup? That's just curious. Yeah, weird. It comes up. Sometimes it looks a little plain Jane, but I guess not. Yeah. It's just so funny what makeup does for women.
Yeah, it's not as great then.
Like when you see those when we're kids, and then you see like Paris Hilton without makeup, and you're like, whoa. Or like remember Little Kim? There's like some pictures with her with it, and she looks scary. Or like what's that other one that everybody likes? That Doja Cat chick. She I've seen. She looks scary without makeup and her weave on. I'll say that. See Paris Hilton. See Paris die. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was like such a thing.
How young everybody looks.
It's kind of wild, right? I love Joel Silver so much.
Who's that?
I love his like from Silver Pictures. So like he basically founded Dark Castle and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he's been behind some massive franchises, but like he has a special feature on the DVD, and it's him like introducing stuff about House of Wax from the set of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting in a director's chair talking, right? And he's in a full velvet tracksuit. And there's like cars driving up and down the street behind him, shooting guns and stuff, because he's like, I'm on a movie set and it's all perfect here and everything is safe and everything is cool. It's like that real like, like 90s, early 2000s, like Hollywood style featurette thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it must have been such a time to be like involved in that stuff.
I know it would be fairly cool to be, um, like just at that time, especially early 2000s. Um, Things have kind of gone to shit.
You mentioned as well, the bit with the lip balm thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's another thing that really fucking bothers me, right? The characters are like so irrational and like nothing they do makes any sense to me.
yeah. I know.
So, for example, they're driving side by side on the road at that point,
Hmm.
remember? And they're like talking on the phone. Well, she's like, my lip balm fell. And she's like, you're so busted. And like
Yeah,
doing all this cringy dialogue.
very
And she's
cringy.
like, Paris says to the boyfriend Blake or whatever, she's like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to keep driving, babe. We ain't got tickets and we have to get there and all. We don't have tickets. And she was like, she literally just goes, yeah, but there's going to be hundreds of scalpers outside. We'll get tickets. And he goes, okay, let's pull in then and camp. Literally just like
Yeah.
that. I was like, that made no sense. 2 seconds ago, you didn't want to pull in. And that's all she said. And he went, yeah, let's pull in now and camp right here. And then they're like, we're going to pull in right here on the side of the road.
It's so dumb, and even I wrote down like so many horror movies start with people going to places that they probably shouldn't. Like the house being made of wax is actually a good touch, but like how it's always like, yeah, don't go in there, you know, and then they do, and then it unfolds.
And look, I get it. Like you have to. That's the whole point. They have to make some sort of decision to go to do something for the movie to exist or whatever.
Hmm.
But I just found as well all the banter between the characters at that scene where they're like drinking beers and they're throwing the football around and stuff,
Yeah,
and like especially anything involving Chad Michael Murray's character. I think he's called Nick, is he?
yeah, something like
He
that. I
is
don't remember.
so fucking annoying. It's actually like unbearable. Like it's the worst thing. It's like over the top annoying though. It's not even if it was on the nose and it was like they were trying to get you to be like because I don't even get the vibe they're trying to get you to dislike him. He just comes across like a fucking bell end. I'm like, why are you like it's just I don't know, like and then do you know who I liked the most out of all the characters other than Paris Hilton, like at that first part of the movie?
That drunk.
Is Dalton, yeah. John Abrams, the guy from Scary Movie, who plays the
Yeah, I
Billy
know.
Loomis
That's
character.
yeah.
I love him because he's just like the cast like the classic like goofy friend that doesn't have a girl character.
Yes,
I
yeah, he
actually
does that
don't
well.
mind. Yeah, I don't mind him at all. I actually interviewed him.
Really?
Yeah, about this movie in particular. Actually, a while back, he was super nice. We've been going back and forth for probably about a year. Um, and
That's
like he
cool. I'd
said, he
like to
just
talk to him about Scary Movie. That shit's so funny.
yeah, I've been trying to kind of. He does a lot of conventions,
Yeah.
and I think he's gone back. Like he's been back doing stuff for Scary Movie 6 and things like that. So he had kind of said like maybe we should wait until next year till like it's like closer to that.
That movie's so funny, man. When he's like at the end, and then it's supposed to be like the face off between him and Stu, and they die, and it's like they like slump over, and it looks like they're fucking each other. Like the first one was gold, man. It was just something that's never been done like that before, and there are just so many funny moments in that movie. The first three, I think all of them except for I don't even remember the fifth one at all, but I think at least the first three or four were fairly funny. Like,
I'd be interested to see this new one. I'll be honest with you.
yeah.
Uh,
There's some good like kill scenes and creepy things in this movie too. Like we just had the image up of her with her like lips all fucked up, and like that when he glues her lips together, I was like, that's a good creepy touch. And then when she has to like cut it open, that shit's pretty fucked. Like that's a good like, ooh,
and
makes you cringe.
yeah, it really shows like her lips, like the skin
Yeah.
like peeling and shit.
Oh yeah, and then even around that same time when she gets her finger cut, like those type
Ooh,
of scenes where
grim.
it's just like, ooh, it makes you like cringe and sometimes horror movies can pull it off, sometimes they don't. But especially with this one, it was where it like if you're in the audience in the theaters, I could just hear the people go like, oh, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
a
kind
real
of fun
like
of it.
date night kind of movie, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind
In
of
a
the
way.
whole fun of it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. And I think that's why when I rewatch it, I'm like, you know what? It's just good old fashioned fun. Like it doesn't have to be over. Like at the end of the day, it's about a wax fucking town in the middle of nowhere. Like, so what do you expect really? You don't expect any
Yeah.
highbrow like amazing acting or a great big plot story or emotional ties or anything.
No, and even like when they first discover like the House of Wax and the feel of it's kind of creepy you know, like the fake wax people. But really, when you do find out that they're probably all real people, is like freaky. And especially that scene where Buddy is like on the piano and he's made into wax. Like first, like Vincent, you see him in that like wax mold thing while he's still like alive, and it's all like pouring down on him. And like another cringe scene, right, where like it makes you go, oh fuck, like when he gets his like back of his like the tendon of his heel cut or whatever, like oh
yeah, when you were saying about because I had this down at some point here, about oh yeah, when Dalton discovers Wade as the wax figure,
dude.
I always ask myself one question: why in God's fucking name does he keep picking his face off, saying, "I'm sorry, dude, what happened to you?" And he's literally tearing chunks off his face.
I hate that. That I actually wrote how down how freaky that scene is, because he's like this, and he's like,
and then he starts like to cry.
Yeah, that's so scary. And it is funny when he's like, "What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you?
What happened to you, dude?
What happened to
Peeling
you?"
all his face off.
Yeah, that was a good touch, dude. That was like a freaky moment within the film. Even like I said, him being strapped in the chair. But once you see him later, and he's like, whoa, he's talking to him. He's like, yo, man, like, where you been? Why are you in here? Whatever, right? And then you see him, and he's like, whoa, what happened to you? And his eyes turn. Is like scary, man.
That always stuck with me. From
and then you realize like everyone is wax, is like, even because then you're like, all these people were made into these statues, and there's like real bones and people underneath it, right? It's freaky.
I did think as well, like the mix of, you know, the way every now and again there was like the camcorder footage.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add anything to the movie, but no. I do remember like kind of thinking that it definitely felt on brand for like 2005. So I was like, it kind of works with the vibe. Because like back then, camcorder would have been like, you know, the like cool like teenagery, like, yo, bro, I've got a camcorder, I'm recording. That's what we movies, did, bro. Yeah,
we recorded everything.
Like it's
the Tommy Thompson show. We did like Jackass and shit. Dumb.
I remember thinking that we done something like that here, and like so like an Irish slang word for ass is arse. So like we thought we were really funny by calling it Jack Arse, and it was like, oh, that's the Irish version of Jackass. And like, I obviously took the exact same dumb shit. Like
I think I took too much credit for it. I wish I could find these tapes because they're somewhere. I don't know. My mom can't find them. Whatever. But I think it's funny that I called it the Tommy Thompson show. I was like, this is my shit. It's my camera. And I didn't do half of the stunts. I made everybody else do them. So we'd push my buddy down the hill in shopping carts. We push him into like one where there's like a chain, like at a school, and he flipped. We thought this would work. We put him up on a slide, like one of those like slides at a school, and we held it there. And, you know, we're thinking he's going to like go down the slide and slide off, but the slide's like this, like it's going down like that, go wave. And all he does is go like this. It just falls on his face. And I only did the eating stuff. Like I always won that, like who can drink the most vinegar. Before there was ever a cinnamon challenge, we challenged. There's 3 of us trying to eat chili powder, and I was like, I can't like speak and shit.
Isn't it funny how like pop culture and stuff has always influenced us, even kind of before like the how the internet is now. Like I know a lot of people now talk about, oh, TikTok influences kids and it influences teenagers, and Instagram influences women and girls to be like doing this and doing that. But like, dude, it was the same for us even back then in like the MTV days and stuff. Like I was such a fucking dumbass. Like I remember things like Viva La Bam and all, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do that. My life is going to be like that. I'm going to be like punching my granddad in the stomach and like kicking him out of the bed, drop kicking him in the head at like 4 in the morning and stuff. Crazy. And I'm like, I'm such a fucking like retard. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like I remember we used to do like similar stuff. Like you'd be getting like a shopping cart, and then we'd be like, right, let's see who can push the other person the hardest and fastest into a curb. So you can like fly out of it or like smash your legs against the front of it. I'm like, we were doing that for like hours. I'm like,
yeah, I know. Even me and my buddy would sometimes do it on our own. The one time we filmed and we put the camera on the skateboard, and then I just like ran him into like a wall or whatever. It's so dumb. And it's just like, I remember the one time we put pillows in it, and you can hear him on the camera being like, he was pretty funny back in the day, my buddy. And he's like, this is not padding, it's just cold out. Like trying to be like tough or whatever. And we did just in case. Funny, like. I know there's one time we did like the Jackass going down like a big hill, like in the intro. And we got these two girls to film it. And me and my buddy Austin, he was on the side, my buddy Christian was inside. And as we're going down this huge hill, that's a pretty big hill, and it gets fast. And so we jump off, and then I run and I topple into a hill, and then you see. He's the last one in it after me and Austin jump off of it, and it's starting to go like this, and it like goes and almost hits like a street sign, and he could have died or got really hurt. And then we're like, oh, that footage was crazy. And then we look at it after, and the girls are going, ha 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 ha, they're laughing. So it's shaking their arm, and it's just shaky footage of them dying laughing. I'm like, thanks. He could have died for that footage, you know?
Do you know what's mad as well? Like when you're doing it at the time as well, you think like you're like I thought I was on to something.
Yeah, I know, it's
I was
crazy.
like, yes, I'm gonna be like the next MTV show.
Just
even though I'm
remember,
literally copying and doing a worse version of something I've already seen.
well, they had that Australian version that actually caught wind or whatever, but like, or the guys from like Sweden or whatever too, or some other groups.
Oh, the Dudesons, they had them, and then they
Dudesons.
had there was the Welsh guys or the UK guys, Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's so funny, like just
They actually came to my town probably about 10 or 15 years ago. And there was a nightclub here, and they used to do shows in the nightclub. So what they would do is they would just get pissed drunk in a nightclub.
Yeah.
And then they would have like we went to it, like everybody's
stick
just
hot
drinking.
dogs up each other's asses and stuff.
No, and it was like they would go, here's a stapler, staple stuff to my body, and just take people up out of their seats and be like,
That's
here's
fucked.
like put staples in my head, or like shoot
Yeah.
me with a nail gun in the middle of the bar. And I'm like, what is this shit? Like,
staple my nutsack to my leg.
yeah, just like really weird. Like they done that, like they put some sort of a nail through his nut into through his like sack into the stool, the bar stool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
It's just
like,
weird. It's like we
what?
watched Steve-O's movie, like whatever, it came out like 2 years ago, whatever. And some of it was just fucked. Like he jumped out of a plane and then jerked off and came while he was I'm like, what the fuck,
It's
man?
just like, what?
And in fact, he said it was hard because they had to put on porn, and there's all these guys just surrounding him, and he's like just trying to give it. And it's like so weird, man. Why? So you can say I was the first person that came in the air? Like, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Anyway, back to House of Wax.
That actually to revert back to near the start again. Do you remember when the truck pulls up and they're camping?
Yeah.
And like the Blake, I think it is the black guy, he stands up first and he's like, hey, yo, man, get the hell out of here, man, before I have to give you a beat down or something like that. And then like her boyfriend, the guy from Supernatural, he gets up and he's all like pouting and stuff. And I'm like, right, cringe.
Yeah.
And like Chad Michael Murray is sitting in the background with his hood up like this.
And then
And
just
he
tosses
starts,
the beer bottle.
Yeah, he starts looking over his shoulder and all, and he gets up and he does like his badass walk. And he walks out in front of the group and throws the bottle and then like flexes. And I'm like, that is so cringe. It's actually like just cut that out in a movie altogether.
I know. It was, some of those scenes were pretty cringy and of like, it just reminded me of like the typical kind of 2000s. And then it is funny, even later on, they obviously have the typical hick where the animal carcasses are fucking everywhere. And they're like, what's that? What's that? That's a hand. And he pulls it out and it's a wax hand. And he's like, do you need a hand? Haha. Like, you know.
I wrote that down. I mean, the scene when she falls into the roadkill pit is actually disgusting. I forgot how sick it is when her hands, she's like elbow deep in it. And she's trying to get back out.
So
gross. The creepy roadkill dude, Lester, is great. I love his character. It's creepy and goofy at the same time. A classic for one of these backwoods movies.
Yeah, always, right?
And the way he's like looking at her and all. Remember, she's getting changed into the vest, and they're all trying to like block her, and he's going like, like I kind of like that with the black teeth and stuff.
Yeah, so weird.
I wrote this down as well. Nick takes off his shirt and stands there all cringe, flexing. It's like some weird ex-boyfriend thing. I just don't get it. I don't get it. The whole thing plays like he's wanting to be with her.
Yeah, there's some weird, like, I feel like that's in a lot of stuff that they kind of, it's so weird. I don't even get why they have to add it like that. Like, oh, be protective or whatever. But it is kind of like.
I don't know. To me, the whole time, I was like, I get the vibe that you want to fuck or you have fucked.
Yeah, maybe they have, man.
That's
maybe
the
they're
vibe
the
I keep
villains.
getting.
Paris Hilton's red tracksuit became iconic. The directors deliberately put her in a bright red, so it would pop in the dark, in the shadowy environment, and make her more of a moving target.
They were such a sign of the times as well. Those tracksuits.
Oh, so weird. Yeah. Or like, you remember those? They were like, it's like juicy on their ass
Yeah.
or
I
whatever.
was
So
literally
weird.
just gonna bring that up. Like that's such a sign of the times.
Or
dude.
like
Oh
it's
my
a hot
God.
on it. Or man,
Yeah.
it's so different.
Cringe.
I know what
Fucking hell.
happened.
Another thing I wasn't necessarily sold on. I wouldn't mind him saying all this stuff. You'd swear I hate the movie. I fucking love the movie, but like I was
Yeah.
noticing little things that kind of bothered me, like the dynamic they tried to create with the good and evil twin.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have Bo and Vincent, and like the dynamic, like you mentioned earlier about like, oh, one's good, one's bad. Who's the evil one? Who's the good one? But they kind of try and mirror that with Carly and Nick,
Yeah, yeah.
because like doesn't he even say at one point he's like, you were always the good kid or something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, why? It just feels real forced. I'm like, you're trying to draw parallels between like the villains and the heroes, and like do this kind of weird, like, we're on parallel paths. We feel the same, and I'm like, fuck off.
I know. And like, I'm like, I do really enjoy the movie, but something like the brother, sometimes he's even kind of like the evil brother of Vincent's, but it's
Bo.
like Bo. Or sometimes even some of the stuff he does is kind of cringy.
He
But
really overacts some of the stuff.
some of it, I think that his character is good and like it's the way I think it's supposed to be. Like I get it. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, it's just it just seems like a little too much, right? And even it is weird when they first meet him, and he's like, but you don't realize that everybody's wax, and he's like, you busting in on my funeral.
Oh yeah, because they go in and the priest is like,
yeah,
looking like that, but it only shows it for a second. You don't realize he's actually wax, so it makes it look like he's looking at them, going,
yeah,
"What the fuck are you doing?" But yeah, he comes out and he's like, "You fucking interrupted a funeral for a fan belt."
yeah. I'm gonna have my cigarette right here.
Yeah, literally takes one puff off the cigarette, throws it
And
away, and
throws
then
it,
does this
goes
weird
back.
like hick walk back in.
Yeah,
And then he
Yeah.
remember they go to walk away, and he walks back out. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Oh, sorry, I've gone through something. Things are about to wrap up here. I'll meet you in the station in about 30."
why was he even in there to begin with?
I have
Right?
no
It's
idea.
just
So
like
I was
weird.
thinking about all this, and like this is the thing, you have to like suspend your disbelief or whatever. But
Yeah.
like the whole time I was doing all the things I shouldn't do when I'm watching a movie like this, where I was like, wait a sec though. So he just happened to be pretending to be at a funeral at the exact right time that they were going to come in.
Doesn't even make sense. Why was he in the suit? Because normally he doesn't wear the suit. Like it is.
So it's
Yeah.
like he just happened to be like, hey, some people are going to come here today. Let me pretend to have a funeral.
Yeah, so weird. And I think that's his mother, I think, isn't it anyway? Like they,
So
they
I did like
waxed
that.
her.
I wrote that down when they're walking up to the house with Bo. I always really enjoy that scene where he's explaining some of the backstory about like the town and like what it was supposed to be. And then, isn't it supposed to be like, since the interstate came, nobody comes to see the wax museum anymore and the whole town is just falling apart and it's just
Yeah,
fucked.
something like that.
I did kind of like that. Here's actually a really funny connection that I don't think very many people will know. And I don't know if you know this, but there's an episode of Supernatural which I actually watched. It's called Fallen Idols. It's in season 5 and it's episode 5. It's set in Ohio during a string of weird murders. The twist is that the killer is a pagan god who takes the form of famous celebrities in wax figure form that come to life, basically. Some of the victims get attacked by lookalikes of people like Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln, even. And none other than Paris Hilton.
Weird. Is Gandhi
She's
gonna
in
fuck you like he fucked his cousin?
I don't know. He's gonna kiss his kids and all.
He did. People forget that shit. He it's funny how they paint some of these characters as like they're great people. He let his wife die, and then he took the same medicine that he said that she shouldn't take because of her religion, and then he also had sex with his 13-year-old cousin.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Do you know what's crazy? So Paris Hilton, the death scene filming, she was given 3 whole days to shoot her infamous death sequence. Hilton later admit she was having fun filming it, even though the director had the crew chant "See Paris die" between the takes to hype it up, and she actually kept her wax corpse as a souvenir. I would probably do that too. Aaron would keep it, but it would be in his bed. You'd be like Jeffrey Dahmer, just like cuddling with it.
It'd be all half melted. No? The bottom of the torso will be all melted away.
Weird. So when the Alicia Cuthbert, whatever, scene where her lips are super glued, it wasn't all movie magic. They accidentally used a special adhesive that caused her skin to sting and tear. She said it was one thing that was probably the most uncomfortable scene she ever had to film. That's weird. So it's kind of real.
Um,
Not weird.
I did like that switch as well. You know, when Wade is in the house to take a piss,
Mm-hmm.
and like he starts to figure out, you see him, and then it's cutting to him and Carly, and they're both kind of figuring out in real time. Wait a sec, this motherfucker's in on this, or he's like
Yeah.
up to something. I did like that. I remember when I was younger seeing that, I was like, that was one of those scenes that got me kind of anxious, where I was like, and
Yeah.
you're going, "Where-" and then the lights cut out, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And you see the scissors and stuff come, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah.
and then when he comes back outside and he tries to act all normal with her,
Mm-hmm.
and she locks the door, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? This is my truck."
Yeah. Yeah. There's some some of the chase scenes of and this film is enjoyable and it keeps you kind of on the edge of your seat, and it's I don't necessarily think you could predict it if you've never seen it. Something that you would probably enjoy is Chad Michael Murray nearly burned. During the fiery finale, Murray got uncomfortably close to real flames. The production used propane cannons and flammable wax walls. At one point, he had to duck out of the way when there was a part of the scene where the set collapsed too soon. So he could have been melted away into an actual wax man.
Damn. Also,
Yeah.
speaking of accidents and stuff, so I mentioned before the director and basically most of the crew involved all believed in like practical effects, didn't really want CG unless it
Yeah.
was only just to touch up stuff. And obviously the set design, everything was built from scratch. The end of the movie where the entire town was basically burnt down, that was all kind of a real thing. But there was a fire that broke out, right? And it consumed parts of the Village Roadshow studios.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how extensive it was, but it burnt down 3 sound stages, a lot, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and then all props as well. And in 2006, Village Theme Park Management and Warner Brothers Movie World Australia filed a $7 million lawsuit against the special effects expert David Fletcher and Wax Productions. They alleged gross negligence related to the fire. The complaint focused on claims that the prop master and special effects team had failed to implement adequate safety measures, that there was no firefighters on standby, and wooden props were placed too close to open flames.
Interesting.
And then I tried to dive into it to find more, but it says that the lawsuit was settled out of court with no details being released.
Interesting.
So I don't know what happened there.
Because even like the final meltdown wasn't a miniature model; it was a full size set, torched and filmed in real time. The goofy effects came from mixing wax with peanut butter, syrup, and resin to make it like drip, like it was like realistic. One thing I did find interesting was like it is weird that I forget that guy plays both characters, right? Bo and Vincent, does he not?
Yeah.
And they spent hours in prosthetics, and sometimes he stayed in like character off camera. And the crew member said it made the atmosphere genuinely like unsettling because he would just probably walk around with it.
Dude, because he is weird. Like when he has that face, the one that's behind me, I find that fucking unsettling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
There's
is
something
creepy.
just odd about it where the eyes are not quite right. Like there's like one kind of big eye and one small eye, and the whole thing just looks slightly off.
Yeah, it's clever to make it, especially when his face is like melting. I think that they did a good job at that. He just looked, other than when it comes off, I'm just like disappointed. It just looks too CGI. But he is a creepy character. Like it's interesting. They could have done it different ways, but doing it just kind of a more simple face of something that kind of looked like human, but not really, right?
I did enjoy as well. So there's a saving grace for Nick, which is Chad Michael Murray's character. When he comes to save the sister at the gas station or whatever, I'll be honest, he does start to turn my feelings a little bit because he kind of becomes a protector.
Yeah.
But again, it's weird because I said again, but it starts to feel straight away like they're an old couple.
Yeah, it is weird.
Odd.
Yeah, it's very odd.
I do love Paris Hilton's death scene though. I think that's one of my favorites in the whole movie. Like she plays it perfectly as well. Like she plays it as like the kind of dumb, like hasn't got a clue what to do. That location they showed in, like that weird abandoned sugar mill thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good with like all the cars and like that industrial kind of vibe. When she gets stabbed through her heel, dude, that is fucking gross. When the
Yeah,
knife
there's
goes
some
up
cool
and through her
like
heel.
death, creepy like kill scenes in this. I would say too. Do you know she was nominated for several Razzies, including Worst Actress?
I'd well believe it.
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
she deserved that, to be honest.
I know.
I used to actually get jump scared every time. Remember, she takes that piece of broken pipe pole,
Yeah.
and she's walking around with it, and then she runs away from him, and he stabs her in the foot, and she's running around the cars, and she's in the car, and she gets out of the car at one point, and she has her back to the door, and she's like looking around like that, and he's walking around like on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And you remember she stands up and she goes to look through the glass window to see like where he is on the other side. And the minute she puts her head up, he fires the fucking pole.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it hits her in the face, and she smashes against the wall and hits the ground. I don't know
That
how many
scared you?
times I don't know how many times I don't even know if I want to call it a jump scare. It was more like the flinch reaction of being like, "Whoa, shit! I forgot about that."
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know if it got me though, but
That got me several times. No, not like not in recent years or anything, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember. I vividly remember that part, like being younger when I seen it for the first 2 or 3 times.
it would have
Every
been cool
time
if they
that got
made
me.
it 3D, like the original or whatever.
Yeah,
Just to
and
have
that would
like,
have been a real sign of the times as well, because they probably
Yeah, I
would have been
know.
like groundbreaking, like 2005.
I don't know. Yeah, there's there is a couple frightening scenes.
Wade in that wax machine thing. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that earlier. That's cool when he's pouring all like the hot wax on his body. That's quite sick.
Yeah, I know. That's what some of those, like, that's what there is a lot of cool scenes in this film of how they, and even like his like wax room or whatever, like where he does it, and it's just like all like
Yeah,
candles
that's like our
everywhere.
background there now.
Yeah,
You can't really
it is
see
kind of
that well,
freaky.
but
Yeah, it's
um,
weird.
it's
It's a good set.
Yeah,
It's a
it
cool,
is.
interesting set design.
The sets are like amazing as well.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Every part of it, I'll be honest with you, I think are amazing. I didn't realize as well. You know the scene in the movie theater
Yeah, oh yeah,
when they're
that's
all
a
sitting
freaky.
in the
Yeah, yeah.
seats, and then
And then he
she's sitting
sees
there.
her. Yeah,
Yeah, and he fucking shoots the head off one of
Yeah.
them. I didn't realize, right, that they're not wax figures. They're real people with not in the movie. Obviously, they're supposed to be wax figures.
yeah.
But I didn't realize. I thought they just made mannequins, like, but they didn't. They had actual people sit there with masks that look like wax.
Oh, weird. I guess it's
Yeah.
maybe slightly cheaper, right? Than
Yeah,
having
I'd
to like,
imagine. Yeah, they were like,
build
there's only
all
so many
that.
figures we can build.
Yeah, and yeah, that's so true. That's a freaky scene too, because she's like just beside all the other like people that are supposed to be real people, and they're just like frozen solid. And some like I wasn't it the original movie playing on the screen? I thought
No, it was
Oh.
wasn't it What Happened to Baby Jane or something like that?
I can't remember. It was something weird.
They're right after that part actually when they shoot him with the crossbow.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed it, but it pans to a female figure who's in like I think a pink polka dot dress or something like that. She's holding flowers, and the camera kind of lingers on her for probably 5 to 10 seconds. I didn't realize until I watched the special features again that there's an alternate opening with a character called Jennifer, and she's broken down on a road. She's having car trouble or whatever, and she gets killed by either Bo or Vincent, whichever one. And that was supposed to be like a tie back, like a nod back to, these are doing this all the time. They're kidnapping people from the surrounding roads. They're taking people from the interstate on like detours to get them here to like kill them and then fucking make them wax or whatever. Now, it didn't really add anything to the movie or anything like that, but it was supposed to be like a little tie-in, like to kind of full circle it and be like, look, this is
that
what
they've
they
done
do.
this before, right?
They're
And
doing
that's
this
like,
all
well,
the
look how many
time.
people are in that town. That would be a lot of killing, dude.
And like, to be fair, towards the end, right at the end, actually, remember the sheriff, doesn't he say like, well, I've been taking people from the interstate for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like they were trying to build like a bigger lore there or whatever. Here's one for you. I don't know how you feel about this. So there's a lot of people out there who see Vincent as kind of a sympathetic character that he only killed because he was basically under the control of his brother.
You could say that. You could argue that. But he still like killed people, right? So like, but this idea of like he wasn't that bad, but he was under the control of his brother. And if he was, we know about simple people, right? You just kind of use
because I'm
them.
assuming that's the intention, isn't it? That he's supposed to be like an R word or whatever, and he's kind of been treated as like the dunce out of the two.
Yeah, and like think about even like someone that's real, like Robert Picton. There's theories that he's a serial killer that killed a bunch of prostitutes out west or whatever, right? That in Canada, and there's a lot of people that think like he was a dumb, low IQ kind of moron, and that there's no way he was doing this on his own. And there's conspiracies that point to like maybe even the cops themselves or whatever, right? But like you think about they use certain It's like his brother was using Vincent to like commit these acts of murder and convince him like, you have to do this for your mother. You know, she loved you and
like,
she wanted to make a wax town or whatever, right?
it's a like I do kind of like that. It's an interesting little concept there. I think it doesn't have to be the truth or anything, but it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting how after all these years people kind of look at that and go, well, you could technically make an argument that there's like a deeper kind of storyline
Yeah.
here with them.
Mummy wanted you to do this, right? Like even like you think of like the idea of like Jason Voorhees and stuff like being driven to do these things. And his brother convincing him maybe like your mom died and she wanted to build this town and this is he could even guilt you. This is your fault. You need to make up for this, anything, right? And him being more calculated and kind of controlling his brother is a decent point.
Yeah, because it does kind of come across like that. The Hayes brothers who wrote this movie, Chad and Cameron Hayes, I think they're called. They done The Conjuring and stuff as well. They wrote those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, actually, as of recording this, The Conjuring Last Rites has just come out, and I went to see it on opening night. Right, I wasn't gonna go, and somebody was like, "Oh, you want to go see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Right? We look at the local movie theater. There's like 2 seats left.
Weird, really.
Completely
People
sold
love
out,
that
right?
stuff.
So I'm like, all right, okay, let's check the later screening. There's like 1 seat left.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I'm like, right, okay, let's check the other movie theater in town. Sold out.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, let's check the town 40 minutes away and see. Okay, there's some seats. Driving up there, website crashes, can't book seats. Get there.
Wow.
The queue is like into the car park.
That's fucked.
Dude, right? We get in, right? It's fucking jam packed. And I'm like, what? I didn't know The Conjuring was this popular, or I didn't know so many different, like, I seen like old people, fucking young people, couples, families with kids and stuff. And I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't think this was that popular. Do you know how much money that movie has made since Friday? And as of recording this, it's Sunday.
I didn't even know it came out, so.
So it's been out, what, 48 hours, maybe a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
It's made 185 million.
That's pretty crazy. People crave, obviously, that, like, haunting horror aspect, right?
Like, it's fucking
That's
wild.
crazy.
I really want to do an episode about the Warrens, like a real deep dive into a lot of their stuff.
So out of 10 prosthetic penises, what are you just kidding? Out of 10 wax figures, what are you gonna give this?
Oh, I'm giving this a 10.
Yeah, I would say like a 9.5. I do enjoy it. It's an enjoyable film. There is some freaky aspects to it. It is enjoyable for an early 2000s type slasher film. Like I'd say 8.5, 9 or whatever. It is enjoyable.
10 is a bit fucking over the top, but I would give it like
like that creepy.
score.
Like there's like faces starting to melt and the house is melting and it is freaky.
I did actually have 1 or 2 other things that I had written down. I wrote down, dude, at the end of this movie, Carly absolutely batters the shit out of Bo's face with that baseball bat. I'm actually shocked. I haven't seen this in a couple of years now, and I was surprised how much of it they showed, honestly. Like, she batters his face with that. And
Really?
they show every bit of it.
That's
she's hitting him with the fucking baseball. He's on the ground lying on his back. And she's hitting him with the baseball bat, but shows every hit, and his face is like fucking in bits.
Yeah. Well, he deserved it.
Yeah, it was cool. The director done an interview with Fangoria years ago, and he said that this movie is basically a remake of Tourist Trap. You know, that 1979
Oh, yeah,
movie?
I haven't seen that in a long time. That's a
and
good
he was
one.
like, and the studio were just kind of like, look, we'll call it House of Wax because it's more well known.
Yeah,
it was like
weird.
he said it wasn't ever necessarily pitched as a Tourist Trap remake, but he was like, it essentially, if you were going to call it a remake of anything, it's not House of Wax, it's Tourist Trap.
That is kind of true, right?
Which is a fair point, like,
waxing him. Yeah, some of it's freaky, dude.
That's weird looking.
Yeah, I know.
That must be an actual wax figure, though, is it? Or did they put stuff on his face?
Maybe they put makeup. I think they probably put stuff on his face, maybe. Like just a prosthetic over it. Because even the hair kind of looks fake.
Yeah, it's weird looking, man. The soundtrack for this movie as well is wild.
I was going to say, I laughed at My Chemical Romance at the end.
Yeah, I know, right? How popular like they had become and all after that.
Yep.
Like Disturbed is on it, Raekwon, Interpol, The Prodigy, My Chemical Romance, Marilyn Manson, Blood Simple. Like there were so
just
many
that time.
Yeah, it's
What
wild. When
happened
the
to you,
Marilyn Manson
man?
song
What
came on,
happened to you, man? Just makes
there's
you-
a thing
that's-
I didn't understand actually. Do you remember when he picks the chick up and he's bringing her back into like the gas station, whatever?
Yeah,
And he walks over to the shelf and he turns on the radio and Marilyn Manson comes on
yeah, I
when
think
he's
so.
when he's like strapping her to the chair or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what was the purpose of the?
He likes the tunes.
But why did you need to have Marilyn Manson on?
I know,
To, like,
so
do
weird.
that? I don't. That town is creepy, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I would
It
shit
is
my pants. I think if I got stranded somewhere, like if we were in like the backwoods of Canada somewhere and we were driving and like we had to get out with a breakdown or something and we were walking and just came across some random town.
Well, even my buddy said when he's been like down south or whatever in America to like he's been to backwoods places, like went to this like big kind of like festival concert, like I can't remember where, like maybe like what's that really country place? I can't think of this right now. Like Nashville or some shit like that. And I think they had to go through like Arkansas or something. And he's like, man, they were in the backwoods of Arkansas. And he's like, man, you don't stop. There's some fucking weird little small towns that just look scary, like from like a horror movie.
What do they call them? Sundown towns?
Yeah, it's weird.
Where like they say like you're supposed to be like out there off the streets by sundown because
Yeah.
it's like they get kind of a bit spooky and
Yeah, and then the guys like that show up.
yeah, all them lads, Lester.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do enjoy this movie. I think it's
Me
fun.
too.
I really think they did play for the most part. They played into like what it was supposed to be. I don't think
Yeah.
they tried to be, overly clever or like try to be something they're not.
I
think
agree.
it worked. I think it worked,
Especially
exactly
for the
what it was.
time.
Yeah, like and you know what? Like it holds up. Like because I
Yeah.
think if you're gonna watch a movie like this, oh, at least I do anyway. I want to be transported back. to
Yeah, I know, in that
2005.
time.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't want to see a 2025 version of House of Wax. I want to go back 20 years and feel
Dude,
that
that
version.
scene is freaky when he's putting his head in that thing, God, and like making him into wax, and he's like kind of just like
Can you
like he's
imagine
still
how
alive.
painful that must have been?
Yeah, so
Like to have
painful,
hot wax poured all over your body like that.
and then stay alive throughout it.
Even there, he has like the little freaky eye in those
Yeah.
pictures and stuff. I was actually
Creepy.
at one point, I was bidding on a lot where they had those actual pictures. It was all Polaroids
Oh,
that
that's
they used
cool.
in the movie. But
Weird.
they were only like $50 or something for like 25
Hmm.
of them. It was all the different pictures you see at the start of the movie.
That's
And
cool.
but somebody came in. Obviously, there was other
Yeah.
people watching it. Somebody came in and just completely outbid me. I was like, I'm not interested then.
Yeah,
Um,
there's your girl. Yeah, some of
Yeah.
the scenes, some of the wax people are freaky. We're just looking at the images for all the audio listeners. It is freaky.
yeah, it's a good movie. It's well
Yeah.
worth to watch for anyone out there like who's maybe, I don't know, on the fence or you're not sure if it's your thing or whatever. I would definitely give it a try. Like it's a date movie kind of. It's a, I don't know, a late night on TV movie or a Saturday afternoon kind of matinee thing. I could watch it at any point, I think.
Yeah, it's a good movie for people, even couples or whatever. It's just it holds up. It's still fun. It's a fun time, especially if you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time. It is worth it, and I can think of a million other horror movies that are way worse than this. This is enjoyable for what it is. It's not overly long. It's a good movie. It's a good slasher flick. I think it holds up, and for the time era that we weren't getting a lot of, I would say, decent slasher films at this time. It wasn't the greatest, so this one kind of holds up.
And that was probably something why I probably appreciated Dark Castle at the time more than some
Yeah.
people did, because I felt like they were quite good at, I'm not saying all their movies were amazing, but
Yeah.
they were quite good at giving you kind of like 90 minutes of like just fun.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
that was it. It was like
Yeah,
a
I
hard
agree.
out. We hit like 90 minutes and it's like, right, that's it now. We've had our fun. Let's go. We don't have to
Yeah,
do
now
all
some
the
things are
extra.
way too long.
Yeah, like even I went to see The Conjuring 2 during the week. I had
Yeah.
a free ticket and like I hadn't seen it in a long time. That's the one that's about the Enfield poltergeist.
Yeah, which I'd like to cover on Strange Brew at some point.
And like it was a very, like, I forgot how good the movie was,
Mhm.
but like at a certain point, as good as it was, I was like getting uncomfortable because it's
Yeah.
like 2 hours and 20 something minutes. So I'm a bit like, at one stage I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking like,
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much like, explaining the story and like doing the whole like the power of Christ and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like I fucking just give me
I
90
know.
minutes. Like
Even like I haven't got through Terrifier 2. I'm sure some people are like, what, whatever. But that was even just felt long to me. I'm like, can we just do an hour and a half?
Long. It's very weird as well for like a slasher movie to be doing that. That's one gripe I would probably have with something like Terrifier, where I'm like, the runtime is exceptionally long for something that kind of, and this is not a knock, because I think what they managed to do in the modern era, creating a horror icon like that, is amazing. But like, it's a pretty long runtime for something that has no real substance.
Yeah. Well, definitely support the show. I'm probably gonna piss myself if we don't wrap this up.
Don't piss yourself.
I drank an energy drink, and like there's like these pops, and it's like a low sugar pop. There's like no sugar in it.
Pop. I hate that word so much.
Soda pop. Yes, this was a fun time. I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely support the show. I'm probably gonna piss myself though.
Well, we're going to go now. I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you like this movie, let us know in the comments on social media. Make sure to like, share, support, interact, review. Try and keep it somewhat constructive and positive. And we'll see you soon. We are going to do another Dark Castle movie. It's going to be a watch along. I'm going to make Tom do a commentary of The Hills Run Red.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
So we'll see everybody real soon.
Support the show, motherfuckers.